think I got this set up right for once. So I'm Hannah, and today we're going to be sketching some figures. I've been trying to practice poses specifically from real pictures as well as from like more anime style stuff. I feel like I want to learn how to do more posing. And I live in Japan, so I feel like it makes sense to learn from animation and more manga style stuff. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what we're gonna do. So she came out a little weird. I wanted to try to warm up a little bit before. Oh, you can see my pajamas. Maybe we should readjust a little bit. It's just so you don't see my PJs too much. It's 11:30 a.m. here, so I shouldn't really maybe be in my PJs, but I am. So I put together I basically found pictures from Pinterest. I don't know the artists, I'm afraid, of everybody that I got going here. She came out a little weird. I have her kind of looking a little nervous, where actually the pose, she's looking pretty confident, but it's okay. We'll just finish her for now. So today I wanted to talk about productivity because my plan this week was to actually film myself a little bit every day and eventually make like a weekly, like a day in my life as an art student in Japan, like vlog style, you know? And part of the reason I wanted to do that is I thought maybe it would help me stay more on top of my work, but I don't think it did, unfortunately. And I'm not sure this video will come to fruition because I'm a little embarrassed about like how tired I get and how easy it is for me to kind of give in to my tiredness and to my more base self. You know, I think if you are on the side of YouTube that I happen to be on, yeah, let's try to make her look a little more like the picture. So her body's going more like this in the picture. You know, you may have seen like channels like Ali Abdaal. I also watch Kelsey Rodriguez, who's more of an art, you know, business channel, but also she's a little bit more at least on, like, not honest. I think Ali Abdaal is honest for himself. I just think he's an unusual man who's capable of a fair amount of productivity that not all of us are able to do. He seems like somebody who is like, well, why wouldn't you just do what you want to do? And it's like, well, I don't know, I'm tired, I'm neurotic, I feel a lot of self-doubt, and I think a lot of us feel that way, but he just seems like someone who doesn't really seem to have those types of feelings, or he doesn't at least dwell on them maybe the same way some of us do. But I think my biggest issue is just getting, this week at least, was I also teach English online, and I increased my hours while I was on, we are actually on like spring holiday right now, Haru Yasumi. But we still have homework, which has been a bit vexing to me. And in Japan, basically hiring season, if I want to get hired for 2026, has already started. So I really need to be kind of on top of looking into companies and things like that and doing research and blah, blah, blah. But I haven't been. And so even though we are technically on break, it's really more of a time that I should be spending, you know, working on my portfolio, researching companies. And also, like I said, we have homework. We have to do at least 2 paintings that are between B2, B3 size. And I haven't even gotten started on that. I have a vague idea of what I'm going to do for it, but I haven't even like started doing sketches for exactly what I want to do. So I just like adding a little bit of shading, and I'm just sort of focusing with pink these days. It's just kind of fun to just add a little bit. I like using pens, and I do use pencils as well. It's just the pens, I just always feel like come out a little more fun when I use pencil. Sometimes it comes out well, but I think I get a little too caught up in making everything perfect with pencil. So pen, you know, I definitely make lots of mistakes, but I feel like it kind of balances each other out in a weird way. I think she looks kind of cute. I kind of want to draw her face. It's a pretty stylized image, frankly, that I'm using right now. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit more. My desk is messy. Yeah, let's zoom in. That way you can see it a little bit more. Yep, okay. There she is. So I think we're gonna do just a close-up of this face. Let me just make sure this. I have some coffee here. I drink instant coffee. I'm not very particular about my coffee. All right, so it's a pretty stylized face, but I think actually those sometimes are harder for me than the more like realistic faces, because I'm just not used to drawing kind of more anime style. So when I draw them, they come out looking really not cute and like really alien. So I've noticed that they tend to draw the ears, and not all of them, but a lot of these tend to draw the ears pretty far out or a little lower than what is anatomically correct. And I think it's to make them look cuter and younger. And I always kind of am like, why are their ears so big and low? So we're just doing her hair. Same, so it's the same, I'm just doing a close-up of the same drawing because her face is so tiny and weird there. So let's just do a close-up as a practice. I'm afraid I did not collect the name of the artists, but all of these images I collected from artists on Pinterest. If you just look up, I looked up pose, I think I looked up pose in Japanese to find a lot of these images. Like pose is and that's just sort of what I found, because I just wanted to practice, like I said, I wanted to practice figures in different poses and maybe more like the stylization a little bit. I think there's other stylization styles that I like that I will also, you know, take inspiration from at some point. But right now I decided to kind of focus more on anime because that's where I live. And honestly, as you can see, like, I'm not super great at it. So speaking of productivity, I spent a lot of time on Monday and Tuesday doing my part-time English job, where I teach English online through italki. So I set my own hours, and since it's spring break, I did increase my hours for a couple days a week so that I could, you know, hopefully get more students on those couple days and get a little bit extra money, because this month I'm gonna be taking a break from italki as well, and my parents are coming to Japan, and we're actually gonna visit Korea briefly as well. And so I wanted to try to make more money, because I will not be making money for a little while. And it's just a good opportunity to try to hedge my bets a little bit there. Okay, we're not gonna draw her arms. Sorry, she's armless. Oh, I guess we should just draw them. Okay, never mind. She looked too weird without them. Okay. So on Monday, I did 6 hours of English online teaching and just talking to other humans for like 6 hours. I don't take breaks like in the lesson time, and I do actually do the full hour, even though I should probably make them at least like 2 minutes shorter when I have like back-to-back lessons, because it's really, I end up being like a minute or two late sometimes because it's hard to end one lesson right on time sometimes. So I should really adjust that for Italki, but I have yet to do so. She has like a little tiny kind of mouth and like just a dot for a nose. That's something that really bothers me with the anime style stuff, is that they have like no noses. Not all anime style seems to do that, but most. I made her neck too long, I think. She's like, whoop. Yeah, so like I said, this is a pretty stylized one, but I seem to do worse sometimes with the more simplified ones, because I have less detail to kind of fall back on, and I have to kind of get the details or the proportions a little bit more correct, and I don't. And her face is a little smaller than what I drew, I think. I get really embarrassed drawing anime style stuff, frankly. Especially because I'm so bad at it. And I'm so old to be drawing, I feel like, kind of cartoony, like trying something new, I guess. It feels kind of weird. I feel like, you know, the anime style drawing is something you kind of start doing as a kid because you like anime or manga. And so you draw like that. You draw your favorite characters and you kind of mimic and that kind of thing. But I never really went through that. Even though I did like anime as a kid, I didn't really copy it. And then when I did try one time, my friends saw my sketchbook and made fun of me for drawing that. I think even though they drew that way, they were better at it, and I was like the only white kid. They were Asian, and I don't know, they just kind of made fun of me, and I never tried again until now. Honestly, I've never tried. Like, that happened in high school, and I never tried to do anime style art inspo ever again until this year, I guess, when I started to try to do this challenge for myself. I started to look at these figures, and that's when I started practicing it. And so it's kind of funny to me. Maybe not funny is the right word, but it took that long for me to kind of just get over it. But your friends in high school or the people you hang out with can really influence you so much when you're a kid. And if you're a sensitive kid that's like a little bit too hyper concerned about what other people think, which was definitely me and probably still a bit of me, it can really throw a wrench, which is silly. I don't know how, I personally don't want kids, but if I had a kid or when I'm teaching kids, I really just want them to be themselves. I don't know how you encourage that. I wish I knew, because I think people need that encouragement to be themselves. So this is my live stream, but it's a live stream of just me. That's a little sad, but it happens that way. Yeah. Well, I have enough space on this page to continue doing some more, I think. So let's maybe add another one on this page. I just want to see, I want to double check that this is working. I also started a new YouTube channel of my cat, which probably is not the best use of my time. Unfortunately, I just can't help myself. He's so cute, and I just started to like upload old clips of him, and they started getting more views than my channel, of course. Okay, maybe there isn't enough space to add more on here. I'm trying to think. Maybe we can just add a face. I kind of want to I like to try to use up as much of the page as possible. So, or maybe we'll just draw her again. Hazook. Yeah. So we'll just draw maybe another one of her, actually, because I did get the pose wrong. It'll be a little smaller, but it's okay. So yes, Monday I had 6 hours of online teaching, and then Tuesday I had 5.5 hours. It was supposed to be 6, but one student booked an hour and a half by accident. So I just reimbursed them some of the units, because honestly an hour and a half is really hard for me to teach anyway. So it was 5.5 of English teaching on Tuesday, and then 4.5 on Wednesday. So it slowly went down during the week, but I also made a new YouTube video, and I stayed up really late editing it, which was, I just really wanted to stick to like getting things done when I sort of say I'm gonna get them done to myself, because I feel like with the YouTube videos, it's really easy to just put it aside, because nobody is, when you're starting out on YouTube, like nobody is really expecting you to make the videos except you know, frankly, because I don't have that much of a loyal viewership, and it really comes down to your own will and your own commitment to yourself, whether you get them done on time. And I really just wanted to get it done on time, and since, you know, I'm not in school right now, I could sleep in late the next day to get it finished. I decided to just stay up really late to finish it, but I think that ended up really throwing off the rest of my week a little bit, unfortunately. Ooh, I think her legs are not long enough. So I think the lesson there is not that I did anything wrong, but I think it is unproductive to kind of burn yourself out too, speaking of productivity. And I think I kind of, not burn myself out, that I think that word is kind of overused. I think everybody talks about they're, oh, so burned out. But there is like, I think like a medical definition for that. I think most of us are just tired. And like, that is different, it's related, but I do think it's different. Like being burned out is sort of, when I've read about it, it sounds like it's similar almost to depression. Like, you know, and maybe some people really are just truly burned out, but I feel like I wasn't burned out. I was just tired because I had stayed up until 4 a.m. one night, and then that threw off the next couple days, which totally makes sense if you stay up until 4 a.m. And it did kind of throw me off, I think, for the rest of the days, because then I didn't have as many classes on Thursday and Friday, but I was so tired still. I just don't seem to have a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I think we do that, like I'm this kind of person or he's that kind of person, and I try to not use that way of talking, because I like to believe that that we as humans have the ability to change. And so I don't like to kind of be like, I'm this kind of person or I'm that kind of person, because I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But I unfortunately do seem to be someone who gets tired more easily than other people and gets overwhelmed more easily than some people, and it can take a lot out of me, unfortunately. And talking to people for that long kind of just takes a lot out of me, even though it can be really fun, actually. I've gotten a lot more students from different countries this time around. I taught on italki years ago during the pandemic, and I got mostly, I think maybe it was just the time of day I was teaching, but I got mostly like East Asian students from China, Korea, and Japan, and I'd never really got European students ever. And now I do. I get students from Ukraine, I've gotten students from Poland, I've gotten not just like East, I guess Poland isn't East, Poland is Central Europe. But I've gotten students from so many places in Europe, which I never got before, which is kind of cool. So since I drew on pen on this page, I like to then do pencil on this page. That's sort of my habit these days. So I'm still gonna do anime style, I think, for this page, and then I'm gonna switch and do some drawings from photographs. So that's what I try to do, is I try to like warm up usually doing the stylized drawings, and then I do photos and I try to stylize them a little bit in my own way, or just do more relaxed drawing. I don't know if this is really the best way to go about learning poses or learning the figure, but I do think it's good to practice copying other people's art, because you see how they've stylized things, and I think that's really different than like drawing from photos. I think the key, though, that maybe I'm missing right now is that I don't maybe translate my own style then to drawing the photos. I think that's like the next step maybe for me, is like when I draw the photos to then try to stylize them in my way, maybe based on what I've learned. So that's sort of what I'm thinking these days. I have a really hard time when their hair is like right on their face. And that tends to be how they always draw them. And I'm like, oh, what? Because I just seem to really, they still are able to get so much life, I feel like, in the eyes. And I don't know if it's just the shimmer or just this, for me, when I draw their eyes, I feel like they just look like aliens. Maybe I should have drawn this a little bigger. But they get so much in the eyes, whereas when I draw them, they just look like dead husks, I feel like, most of the time. But we'll figure it out. I have confidence we can figure this out. But yeah, she has so much hair in her face. This is like a drawing of a ballerina girl. Ooh. Is that my food? Hi. Hi. Akimasu. Okay, I got some food from Amazon, so I'm gonna draw, but they're gonna come to my door and then I gotta go get it. And I'm in my pajamas. It's a little embarrassing, but wow, this is just coming out more creepy by the moment. Ooh, she's creepy. Okay, I think we're gonna make her head bigger. I think her head's too small. I think we draw her a little bigger, maybe. That'll help things. And we'll start a little higher up, maybe. Oh, Zook, do you want to come down? Oh, Zook. Oh, shit. Zook, you crazy. Zook. So, are you okay? Zook, are your legs okay? Oh, shit. Zook. So my cat is paralyzed. Oh shit, what just happened? Oh, he just jumped off the shelf. He just threw his body off the shelf. Shit, I can't tell if he's okay. He's hiding. Zook, it's okay. So my cat is paralyzed and he can't use his back legs, and he just tried jumping, and he's hiding because he's scared of the delivery man. And I'm trying to check his legs, but he's scared because the delivery man hasn't come yet. Oh shit. Zook, it's okay. He's gone. So the delivery man didn't. Zook, it's okay. Are your legs okay? Zook, don't do that, sweetie. It's okay. Shit. Okay, he seems to be okay. Fuck. Oops, sorry. I try not to swear in these. My cat just jumped off his kitty shelf, and my cat is back legs are paralyzed, and I was worried that he maybe hit one of his legs because he can't use them properly. And he was scared of the delivery man, which I should have realized when they called. And when I went to go get him, he already was throwing himself off. But he seems to be okay. It's hard to tell though, because he is paralyzed partially in his back legs, so his nerves he can't really feel them so well. But I'm watching him move, and he seems to be moving normally. But it's kind of a high shelf, even if he weren't hurt. It's not something that I would really want an even healthy cat necessarily to be jumping. Oh, this is coming out so weird. That I would want a healthy cat necessarily to be jumping off of. My poor kitty. I don't know. I kind of want to stop drawing now and just check on him, but he seems to be okay. Zook, are you okay? I'm sorry. He looks mad at me. He really doesn't like people. He's just scared of them. He's just really scared of new people. So whenever I get like a delivery, it's just from Amazon, it was just food, but he usually tries to hide, and I wasn't thinking about the fact that he was on his shelf, which was stupid of me. I'll have to be more careful. I can't believe he jumped off of that. It's pretty high. Oh, my poor little Zook. So Zook is partially paralyzed. He used to be a healthy kitty without any problems, but he got in an accident in the house. He was not an outdoor kitty. It was in the house. Ooh, this really looks like an alien. Basically, he got really scared, and he jumped. So again, he got scared, and he did something impulsive, and he jumped, and he landed on the television, and then he fell backwards while clinging to the television and got smashed in between the table, the coffee table, and the TV, which basically broke his back. And we did so many treatments for him to try to help him regain more nerves and use of his legs, like laser treatment and acupuncture. At the time, the doctors said that surgery would not have been beneficial with his particular break. But I always wonder, like, I was in Korea at the time, and I always wonder if, like, that was right. Oh, geez, this is coming out really bad. I'm really distracted right now. I always wonder if that was the right advice, because to me, if he broke his back, why wouldn't you do surgery for it? So he was hospitalized for a month to try to, like, keep him not moving as much and doing laser treatment. And we did acupuncture and laser for, I think over a year. And we got him a kiddie wheelchair and tried to do exercises with him to get him to use his legs more. And honestly, I think he did get a lot better. But then he broke one of his legs, and we still don't really know how he broke one of his legs. And my guess is, in our house, it was an old Korean house, and we had cords and areas where I think he kind of could get stuck, which is really dumb. And I think he got stuck in somewhere and twisted his leg somehow and broke his left leg. And when that happened, he basically never really regained much use of that leg. They had to put, like, steel and stuff. Not steel, I think it's some sort of medical steel to basically, like, fuse that leg together. And after that, his left leg, he just never could get his toes up properly, is the best way that I can put it. Is like he just can't seem to get his foot flat. Oh, this is not right. So his left foot is always kind of curled a little bit, and he just can't seem to put any weight on it at all. And if you try to force him to use it, by like doing weight bearing stuff with him, he always gets kind of agitated. So the vet said that it was just like using the nerve. This is gonna come out badly because I'm upset about my cat. I feel like they said that, it doesn't hurt. It's just his nerves are like working and he's just getting spasms and stuff. But I think the feeling to him is pretty distasteful, because when I have tried to get him to use it, he gets so mad. My cat is not aggressive though. He just kind of like walks away from me or shuffles away from me rather, and doesn't want me to pet him and wants me to leave him alone. So I personally think, ooh, this is coming out really badly. That's embarrassing. I personally think that he really does find it pretty, maybe not painful, but really uncomfortable when he uses his left leg. So I've kind of stopped trying to make him use it. I just sort of massage it because it is kind of frozen in this kind of club foot way. I'm just leaving this as really ugly. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, jeez, this looks so bad. So oh, jeez. Can I make this a little better? I think we can make it a little better. I'm just kind of giving up on it, but we can make it a little better. So he can't use his back paws at all, and it's just really sad, honestly, most of the time. And I'm not getting many people on my live stream today, which is fine, but it's also like a little disappointing because I'm trying my best with this YouTube thing, but I don't know if it's really working. So yeah, I think that's a little better with that leg. So she's a ballerina, whatever I'm drawing. Zook, are you okay, sweetie? Oh, he looks mad at me. Okay. I think we're gonna have to keep this live a little bit shorter than usual because I'm worried about my kitty cat. So yeah, after he broke his back leg, it never really got better. Like it had gotten a lot better over the summer when he had hurt himself in the winter, and I felt like in the summer he was finally getting a lot better. I would take him outside in our little like kind of backyard area and walk him around and stuff. And he got pretty good, honestly, at using his legs. I think he would have gotten better if he hadn't broken that back leg. So that's something I feel really, really guilty about, because I really think that was my fault for not keeping the house nicer, because I really do believe that like he hurt himself inside the house. Because when I took him outside, I always watched him, and I feel like I would have seen him hurt himself if it had happened while we were outside together. So it's something I feel really guilty about, that I didn't have the house, that like literally my house was dangerous for him, which I guess I should have already known after he jumped on the TV and fell. That clearly, like if we had just had a stand for the TV, because our TV was on the floor at the time, if we had just had like a stand for the TV, there's no way he could have jumped that high. So I just feel a lot of responsibility and regret about that. And it's not just for him, you know, honestly, it's hard for me to take care of him too, because he does require a lot extra care now that he is paralyzed. It also means that he can't go to the bathroom normally and things like that. So it's hard. I'm giving up on this one because I'm a little upset. And we're just gonna do, I think, something else. Can you see? I think I got a little cut off. Maybe I'll do one more anime style figure. I was gonna do regular people, but I think I'll do one more manga style one, and then we'll move on to like photographs, I think. Zook, are you okay? Okay. Kitty seems to be okay. So my cat jumped off of his shelf, and my cat is paralyzed partially in his back legs, so I'm scared that he hurt himself, but he seems to be fine. I think he just is kind of shocked because he ended up using his legs more than he usually does. Okay, so we're doing poses, and I'm practicing poses through doing more anime style, anime manga style, because I do go to school in Japan, and I'm kind of never really drew this way before, so I'm trying to kind of learn it a little bit. I don't think this is ever going to really be my personal style, but I at least want to learn a little bit more about how they do the figures. The faces, I don't know if I'm ever going to really draw the faces quite this stylized, because I really don't like that they don't have noses or mouths. And when I draw them, they kind of just end up looking like creepy alien people. But I do really like the way they do poses, and the way how much like energy there are in the poses when they draw them, and how much like how dynamic they are. I feel like when I see like entertainment design or concept design in like America, it's just they're really stiff. They always come off as pretty stiff and like a little too realistic. They lose some of the life, I think, and like the stylization, in my opinion, when I see concept design for like video games and things like that in the United States. I just feel like they look a little bit too lifeless to me. Whereas I just feel like Japanese design, they still seem to have so much energy in their poses. They are almost always kind of floating in some way. I don't know if that's part of it, which is kind of, I don't know if it's not that I don't like it. I actually kind of do like the floating, but it always makes them seem like they have no weight, which could, be a problem, because that's obviously a little, that's not realistic. We all have weight. We do have gravity. But they kind of draw them that they're like all in kind of like some sort of spacecraft where they have no weight, which just seems to be a common way that they stylize them. But I like it, so I have nothing against that personally. But I guess, you know, if it's a video game or whatever, or supposed to be like a real, you know, reality in some way, obviously we have weight. It's something that sometimes bothers me actually in anime even, that they like run so fast sometimes, or that they can like grab and pick people up, and I'm like, is everybody just really strong, or do they just weigh like styrofoam? Because that is something that sometimes bothers me. And like more, like even in One Piece, like Nami can like drag Luffy or Zoro with like her bare hands, and I don't know, I'm just like, why is she so strong? But maybe they just don't weigh anything. I don't understand. Ooh, this leg came out weird, you guys. Okay, I need to fix this. She actually has more meat. This drawing has more meat than what I've given her. I've turned her into a stick figure. I struggle with legs, I've noticed. I feel like I understand the muscles of the leg, but I'm not good at stylizing them right, and I seem to always make them a little bit too bony and scarecrow-like. So that's something I need to be a little bit more aware of, because like I said, actually this drawing, she has more meat than what I unfortunately gave her. This hand just disappears. I don't know where this hand goes. It's not in the drawing. But they get away with it. Like, I only notice these kind of issues, like where is this giant gloved hand on this side? I'm just gonna make one up because I feel like she should have one on this side. But there isn't one. Whoever the artist is for this did not draw one. But I feel like they get away with it because you don't really notice that you're more focused on all the other cool aspects of this drawing that you don't really notice that they like forgot a hand. But I'm so literal, I always want to like show everything. So when I was doing an art assignment for class, I was drawing a girl like sitting in a dessert, like a sundae, a parfait, a Japanese parfait. And my teacher was telling me to make like ice cream and have her sitting, you know, and make it more of like, so I had it more like it was like this. This is the parfait, and it was like cream, and she's sitting like here. And you know, she has a fair amount of space. You know, there's like a strawberry here. But my teacher was telling me to make it more like make ice cream, you know, and have her sitting. But I was like, well, where is she gonna have space to sit? Like, she's gonna be like right here. And my teacher was like, don't be so literal. Just put her on there. It's okay. And so for me, I'm like, everything needs to make sense. I need it to make sense. But I did do it the way she said, and honestly, it looks fine. But it's just not my inclination. I'm like, okay, now she needs to sit on the very edge, you know? But it's like, she's a tiny girl in a parfait. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic. This is a cool artist. I like this pose. Zook, are you okay? I'm just checking on my cat. I really want to pet him. I'm worried that he hurt himself, but he seems fine. I think he just surprised himself that he jumped off the shelf by himself. Because that was quite a distance, frankly. Oh, I like this pose. I like the flowy stuff that they do. I do think I stylize things too much. I kind of like that they stylize, but then they keep other things really realistic. Like this ribbon is really cool. And her shoes are cool. I like her shoes. All right, that one came out not bad, I think. So I'm gonna add some black and some pink to just finish this girl up. And then we'll call it a day, I think, on this girl. And then we'll do a couple more drawings, and then it seems like it's kind of a chill day today, which is fine. I need to see who this artist is, so that way I can maybe copy more or practice more of their style. I like the way they stylized her. She looks cool. Yeah, I think what's interesting about more anime manga style stuff is that they do like the figure so well. Like they get the bones, like she has these clavicle bones and stuff, but then, you know, her face is like totally stylized, and we accept it. I don't know why, like, and maybe some people don't. Like my parents, I think my mom does. My mom grew up with Astro Boy, and she liked Astro Boy as a kid. But my dad's generation, like this style of animation just doesn't vibe with him. I think it just looks really goofy. But to me, I feel like if you grew up with anime, you totally accept this style. You're like, okay, it's okay that they have this like crazy eyes and like tiny face. I kind of don't want to do much more. Maybe I'm just gonna try to fix her leg a little bit. Because I did make it kind of goofy. So this leg is actually coming out a little bit. It's more foreshortened than what I have. So I was talking about productivity this time and my lack thereof. And I've been seeing a lot of these videos recommended to me, like, are you an artist and lazy? And I'm like, don't call me lazy. I don't feel like I'm lazy. It's not very nice. But maybe that is, you know, what I am. Maybe I'm just lazy. But I just feel like as artists, maybe, or as creative people or sensitive people or whatever, we just get overwhelmed with the world maybe more easily and just need a little bit more time to recuperate. But I don't like using the word lazy. I think it's a trigger word for me because it's something that I feel like maybe is a little too close to home. And I don't want to think of myself as lazy because I feel like I'm trying hard, but maybe I'm just trying hard in the wrong ways. So that's something that I have a lot of insecurity about. So I haven't watched any of those videos that are recommended to me because I'm like, rude. Don't call me lazy. It's not very nice. I'm doing the best I can. But maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not doing the best I can. I don't know. I'm adding just some pink because it's fun. But I don't think it's necessary because I'm just practicing drawing. I think we'll add some to her gloves because gloves are cool. Like I said, this hand is not in the drawing the original drawing, but I added it. All right, I think she's good enough. So I'm trying to draw these figures every day. I think I mentioned. So now we're gonna do, I think, maybe just some loosening up of some quick sketches maybe in pencil of some actual photographs. And then I'm gonna do some just more fun stuff for me, at least. Actually, I kind of want to do one more anime figure. Yeah, I kind of want to do one more anime figure. Okay, that's more what I want to do. Because these are actually harder for me. Because I kind of have a hard time doing their faces and their crazy poses. So let's do one more anime figure instead. This one's kind of more of a kid. So let's see if I can do it. When I draw kids, they end up coming out looking like creepy adults usually. So let's see if I can do it. What's happening on my phone? I'm sorry, let me just check something on my phone. Oh, I think it's okay. Okay, never mind. I do use my phone to record, so I think it's just saying that, like, I hooked it up to my computer to charge, and I think that's the only thing. Okay, so we're drawing this little girl. She's like jumping and has her arms out, just to let you know. And that's what we're doing right now. We're drawing this little girl. She's going like, woo. So I start with the head pretty much always because I struggle with the head and neck. And if I used to always start with the body, but I think that's bad practice for me because then I just stick the head on and it looks really weird. So I had a teacher that said, like, you know, if the face is weird, the whole drawing is lost, which is maybe a little harsh because sometimes you can have a weird face, but it's like maybe you can try to make it intentionally weird. But I understand what he meant, which is like, you know, that's sort of the main thing we look at is the face, right? We're humans, we look at faces. And so I start with the face usually now, but I used to kind of sketch the whole figure first. That was sort of how I was always taught to draw. And so I think if you get too much teaching, maybe it's bad because you just sort of like always do what the teacher says for you to do. But now I really try to get the face right, or at least the head and neck, because I used to always have a really hard time with the head and neck. I felt like they always came out looking really like the head is here, here's the neck, and then like this is the shoulders, and it's like, what? Like the head was always like in the wrong spot, or it would be like just really weird. Now I'm better at it, but it would be kind of like then the head is like over here and like the neck is, actually that doesn't look too weird, but you know what I mean. It was in the wrong spot a lot of the times. So I try to draw the neck and head first. I think for me that's important. But I used to always draw like this. I loved to draw the like really, you know, stylized body first. And I would just draw like the head last, but then they would come out looking really weird. So I stopped doing that. Honestly, I haven't had like a real figure drawing class in years. I'm in art school right now in Japan, but we didn't start with figure drawing. We started with like drawing classical like Greek and Roman bust statues. So I guess that's typical in Japanese like art programs, is that you draw these kind of like classical, you know, statues, and then later maybe some schools do it at the same time, but my school was later. This year we're gonna start doing actual figures and from a live model, and I'm looking forward to that because that's usually pretty fun. But I've seen some drawings from like the students ahead of me, and it seems like the models are pretty static. They don't seem to do a lot of like really, you know, more dynamic poses. Whereas in the US, all of our models always did pretty dynamic poses. Like they would sometimes even have like poles, like they would hold like a pole and like have it behind their back and do all these crazy things and stuff. But when I've seen the drawings from my seniors, I guess, they just seem to be standing there, the ladies. And so I'm like, okay. I guess it's maybe just more to learn shading. Oof. Because I don't quite understand what the point of that is. Maybe I think they do more long poses. Maybe that's what it is. You know, and that's how it's been in the like sketch class with the busts, is we do like the same like statue for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, until we like are so bored of that particular statue. And maybe it's similar in the figure drawing class, and that's why the pose is more simple, because she has to basically be stuck in that pose for like 3 hours. So maybe that's why. Ooh, I'm not getting, ooh. Wow, it's hard getting the foreshortening on these feet. I gotta tell you what. Ooh, the foreshortening on these feet. Well, these are not cute looking feet. That's really hard. So this pose, she's like jumping and you can see the bottom of her feet, but it looks really, this is really hard. To make look normal. That's a little better, I think. I didn't even get her arms. Her arm is going like boop, and this arm is going like, wow, this artist had kind of phoned in the fingers. There's like no fingers on this hand. As I mentioned, my legs need some work. I'm definitely, my leg game, I'm skipping leg day, art speaking and gym speaking. I think I should join a gym. Maybe that'll help my productivity. I think I'm not moving enough and I'm like in this weird malaise. And so I feel like maybe, I'm not even joking, maybe like, I think if you get some things happening in your life, it can cause momentum. And so maybe getting some more exercise in my life could help cause some momentum for some other areas. So maybe I should look into, there's like a gym right near me called Chokozap, which I've seen ads for, and I think it's really funny, because they have like nail stuff. Like you can get like, you can do like your like own like fake nails there, like gel nails. And I think they have like a hair salon inside the gym or something weird, because I've seen them like advertise this gym as also being like a place where you can get some beauty stuff and you can like get your work done. It looks like they have exercise bikes with like little desks, so you can bring your like laptop and you can go on the exercise bike and like work on stuff. So I've thought about joining it, but I just don't have, I really feel like I don't have any surplus income to justify it. But I think it's pretty cheap, so I might look into it and just try to really reduce my like food costs, because I do get not delivery, but I do eat out a little bit too often, I think. If I cooked every meal at home or ate every meal at home, I think I could justify joining. Ooh, the mouth came out very strange. That's what I mean about the face. See, I got the head and neck right, but then I waited to the end to do the face, and there's the mistake. I didn't follow my own rule. I always have a really hard time getting their noses because they're just dots, but it's like when I put them in, they look like they're little rodents. They're little rodent people. Oh man. And when I do the mouths, I just feel like they look so goofy. She does have eyebrows, but they're like up here. Wow, that came out bad. Ouch. I think we're gonna do more relaxing drawing now. We're gonna just do a couple of figures, I think, that are from photos that are gonna be more relaxing, and then we're gonna call it a day. So let's get to it. So I put together photos ahead of time for once, so I wouldn't be like searching for them. So we're just gonna go for it. These are Sai brush pens. I'm a pretty big fan. I have had them for years, but I have had to replenish like a couple of colors that I've used all of. They're really fun to use, but I don't really know how to make them look like finished. But there's this one artist who actually went to my college. It's like, she does beautiful artwork with alcohol-based markers. Like, I don't think she uses Copic, but she uses another brand, and she just makes beautiful, like, layered art. Her art name is Mick Minty. I'm gonna write it down because her name is, her art is really beautiful, and she does have a YouTube channel, but she doesn't really use it very much. But her Instagram is very active, and she does a lot of like reels on there, and she has some really beautiful work that I find really inspirational. I don't know how she does such like clean style work with like I'm pretty more messy. That's just sort of who I am as a human, I think, comes out in your art to a certain degree, and I'm just like a messier human, so my art just comes out a little messier, and I think, you know, one day I'll come to terms with that. I'm still not quite there yet. I still wish that like sometimes my art looked differently than it does, because I think that's just human nature. But I feel like her artwork seems to always, whether she's doing digital or she's doing like, you know, analog, it always looks like her. It's very like clean and neat, and like very, has a lot of depth to it. I tend to think of my work as a little more flat and a little bit more graphic and a little more messy, which I think is apparent in this drawing. But I find this way of working just so much more fun for me. So maybe one day I will do more clean, beautiful stuff, but in the meantime, I'll probably continue just playing around like this because I find this way more relaxing. You know, even just drawing those anime style figures, I find really a little hard because it's not really just the way that I really naturally gravitate. I like doing these kind of more rough figures. I am gonna like outline her little pasty body a little bit, but this for me is much more relaxing. But I don't really feel like it's very, it just looks like sketches, you know what I mean? They don't look finished, but they're fun. She's wearing shoes, so let's give her some shoes. She's wearing like knee socks and some tennies, so let's give her some. So these are kind of my favorite colors with the Sai brush pens too. I love this like kind of ochre yellow. Her shoes are white. I think we're just gonna outline the shoes. So she's wearing yellow knee socks and white shoes in my drawing. As you can see, now I've gotten much more loose than what I was doing with the anime style stuff, but I think it's okay to do both. I think I need to be able to have some of my own relaxing way of drawing as well as practicing like that way of drawing, and hopefully they can both speak to each other a little bit. You know, one can kind of inform the other. I can maybe bring some of this looseness and spontaneity to when I try to mimic their anime style, because it's always going to still like be my style when I do copies. I'm always going to bring in a little bit of myself. It's just how it is. But I would like to bring in more of the anime style to my own work. That's been a little harder to do. This pose is really over the top. Like, who stands like this? I should probably give her like lips, right? She has brown lips, don't question it. And we'll try to stick with the tiny anime nose for now. It's just not something I usually do. But she's cute. This is a cute model. This is a photo. She's got like a purse here. We're gonna make it go out a little bit so you can tell that it's a purse. Her legs turned into like sausages, so I think we need to kind of rein those in a little bit. I think she's cute. I think we could have done a little better, maybe, but it's fun. Okay, I think she's done. I think we can give her a little bit of a background. Hey Zook, are you doing okay? I like doing these ones last because I feel warmed up and I feel a little bit more relaxed. And I feel like I've earned it because I've practiced the harder stuff and now I can do the more loose stuff. That's how I feel. I don't know if that's silly. It's like, I can't go straight to just drawing like this. I feel like I need to do like more practice and harder stuff first. I'm gonna put some gold in her eye because I just feel like it. That was maybe a mistake, but I don't care. Maybe we'll put some gold in her clothes too. I have a white pen. Maybe we'll add a little like white. There we go. And I think we still need to add a little bit of more black back in. There There we go. So she's done. That was much faster than doing the anime girls, that's for sure. So I don't know how well you can see this. But I think she looks cute. We're gonna do one more, I think. Normally I do pencil on this side, but I think we'll just skip this side for now, and we'll do another marker for fun. So let me find a figure that I like. I'm kind of into doing more seated figures because I was doing standard figures before. So let's do this seated figure. So I'm doing it the same way because this is really relaxing for me. It's just to kind of like block in the colors. I think of it more as like painting almost than drawing, because it's not, I'm not as obsessed with the lines as I am about the blocks of color. I do then, you know, refine it with lines, but I still view it as a bit more of a painting style of drawing than a line style of drawing, if that makes sense. I just find it really, I'm gonna just block in her shoe a little bit. Normally I only use this for the flesh, but I felt like that was necessary. She has a hat. I don't know if I want to include the hat. She's wearing all blue. Maybe we'll make it green instead for fun. It's kind of like this all lycra, like exercise outfit. Looks kind of like a swimsuit, honestly. Or like aerobics class outfit. It's fun. Oops, I kind of made it too long. Oh well. It's okay. So yeah, that's very just like blocked in. I think we're gonna give her, I really don't like the hat. I think we're gonna change her face a little bit because I don't like the hat, honestly. She has like her chin up. Like you can see the bottom of her jaw. She's trying to look like really cool. Ooh. Okay, I'm going with like kind of a more stylized face here. Not necessarily intentionally, but it just kind of happened that way. I think her ears should come out a little more this way. Yeah, I'm trying to not do the hat, so it's a little hard. She's wearing like a bucket hat, and I'm trying to figure out how I can ignore the hat and make the hair look normal. Okay, we're gonna cover that ear because it came out weird. Okay, we're giving her a bob, I guess. She's got like a red bob. That's not too weird. She's got like these clavicles like coming out. Her hands are really pretty. What, Zook? She's got Looks like Adidas on. Her legs are a little weird, okay? Like I said, I'm struggling with legs. I think that's become pretty apparent in this video, is that like legs are something that I need to work on, or be more aware of when I draw. Like that seems to be something I struggle with. So I like layering with these brush pens. I think the colors can come out really cool. So I have no problem layering this red, orange on top of this green. I think it looks cool. This arm comes out a little bit more on top. All right. Let's give her shoes a different color. I don't want them to be brown, but I don't know where my other colors are. So we'll make them yellow. I don't know if there are any yellow Adidas out there in the world. Oh, and she has socks. We'll give her some socks. All right. This style of drawing is really fun for me and really relaxing. So I think it's important, you know, you're learning new things, but you kind of have to like allow yourself to gravitate maybe to what you like and just have fun too. If you're always just doing like hard stuff and practicing hard stuff, it's not going to be, I think, sustainable. So I think it's important to also do fun stuff for you, maybe the stuff that's easier. I feel the same way about like studying a language. I'm trying to get better at Japanese to no avail. Ooh, her eyes came out really weird. It's okay. I think it's important to have like the hard stuff, like, although I haven't really been doing as much of the hard stuff lately, but like, you know, the textbook or whatever, the hard stuff, as well as doing the fun stuff, like maybe watching a show that you like, even with subtitles, or, you know, reading a manga that you like, or just talking to somebody, or talking to ChatGPT, which is what I've been trying to do to practice. I think she's stoned. That's why her eyes are so red. Okay. We're gonna go in with some white with her eyes and see if we can try to fix that a little bit. Because that looks weird. So I feel the same way with drawing. You kind of need to do the hard stuff, but you need to also allow yourself to do the fun, easy stuff. For you, the fun, easy stuff for you is gonna be different than the fun, easy stuff for other people. Some people are really good at some things that you may not really gravitate towards. I really have to remember this for studying Japanese, because I've been really kind of not studying since I've lived here, which sort of has surprised me. I thought I would be kind of on top of it, but I haven't been. And instead of beating myself up too much about that, I just gotta kind of refocus on that and remind myself, like, why, you know, it's all comes down to why, right? Everything comes down to why are you doing it? So her eyes, I think, are a little too high up, but it's okay. I think that's why they look so weird. There's a little better. I'm gonna give her like some stripes. That's what we're gonna do for her, I think. I like this gold pen. I bought them for something else and then I thought it was a waste of money, but it's been fun to doodle with them. So we're just gonna do her platform is gold. And yeah, I think that's it. Maybe we'll do gold all the way. I have a bunch of them though, so I feel no compunction about saving this one. I got like a whole set of them, so I have more, so I can go crazy using them. So we'll just do some stripes. I don't know if that was the right decision or not, but it's kind of cool. I'm not sure if I'm in love with that, but it's okay. So I've been streaming, I think, for an hour and 20 minutes, and unfortunately today, not many people tuned in or got much comments, but that's all right. That happens sometimes. And let's just look at, you know, some of what I drew today, and then I think we'll call it a day. So I drew her. I don't think she came out terrible, but she's a little weird. I think this is my favorite one from today. I think she came out the most fun. I don't know if we needed the green background, but it's okay. She doesn't look as bad as I thought, now that I'm looking at her again. I think I got the mood at least right on this one. And this is my favorite maybe from today. I think she came out the best. I really enjoyed the way her boots and gloves came out. This is the derpiest for sure. But this was when my cat jumped and I really had a hard time focusing. This is what I started with. I think her face came out well. I'm happy. And I redrew the pose really small, and I got the pose a little bit more correct. This is from last night. But like some days, like this is Card Capture Sakura, or Sakura. And like, look how nice I got her pen, like that pose. It looks so good. So some days you really hit it, and some days you really don't. So I just think it's pretty hit or miss, but the idea is like the more you do it, the more you hit, I think. And so for those of you who joined me today, thank you for watching, but I think we're gonna call it a day. So obviously this is gonna be available on my channel if you want to rewatch it, or if not, that's okay too. But thanks for watching today. I'm going to sign off. Bye bye. How do I end?